The following feature is rated PG-13.
Punch it!
You know, we'd already be there if Roman wasn't driving Ford Knox on wheels.
You see me shining, baby. We're locked inside. It's a trap.
That's the bomb.
All right, dorks, what are we blowing up?
What? The Vatican? Wow, you guys are going to hell.
No! Get out of there!
The great Dom Toretto. If you never would have gotten behind that wheel, I'd never be the man I am today. And now, I am the man who's going to break your family. Piece by piece.
The devil's coming.
Boom. Tommy, I knew you would come for me. So how about we all just start shooting each other? Time to end this.
Let's dig some graves.
You are not to be trusted.
Hey, you ain't on my Christmas list either.
Cavalry's here.
Cheers. We need weapons and cars.
Cannon cars.
Do you like surprises? I adore them.
I'd stay down if I was you.
You'll need to hit me harder for that.
The game's over, Dom. You lose. This is your last ride. Then you might want to buckle up.
It's the 10th year of my movie month. 30 movies, 30 days. Movie month, 30 podcasts, 30 days. Movie month, 30 movies, 30 days, 30 podcasts. It's year 10.
My world has fallen. I'm falling to my knees. Oh, yeah. And now I feel my hands trembling. Oh Lord, ain't no promise I'll breathe again. But I won't back down. For my family, you can ransom me. Headed hard, it broke me to my knees. And I'm phone, I'm driving fears like somebody out there after me.
Airplane. Hot Shots. Top Secret. The Naked Gun. Fast X. Some of the greatest parody movies of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Movie Month. It is day 27, And for the 27th day in a row, I've watched a film I've never seen before and will never see again today. And for the 27th day in a row, I'm here podcasting about it to you, the lucky few. Today I watched the art house film by director Louis Leterrier, starring Vin Diesel as... He was more of a tree in this movie than he is in the Marvel movies. Holy, excuse my French, holy crap. I didn't mean to do that. This movie. Now, as you know, if you are a loyal follower of Geek Mentality and the Fast and Furious, or the movie month that I do every year, you'll know that at a certain point, I believe it was year 2 or 3, I'm not sure. It might have been year 2, yes. I decided I'm going to start finally seeing the Fast and Furious movies. I've heard they make a ton of money. People go see them. People seem to love them. And now it's time for me to learn what that is all about. So I started... I said, that's kind of what Movie Month was also about, to force me to watch movies that maybe I wouldn't have an interest in, just to see what they're about, and keep going, and keep going, and then keep going, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holy crap. So I watched the first Fast and Furious. I thought this was okay. Not the worst thing. I see the appeal, lots of car racing, and some action. And then I see the second one. I was like, this really wasn't that great, but I'm going to keep going. I see Tokyo Drift. I'm like, okay, people call this the worst one. Guess what? It's not. I see Fast and Furious, which I think might have been the worst one. I'm not sure. Then all of a sudden, they start getting bigger and bigger. Fast 5. Was it Furious 6 or Furious 7? I don't remember what they were called anymore. The Fate of the Furious, because fate rhymes with 8. You idiots. That's what they think of us. They make these movies assuming everyone watches them as like shapes, colors, cars, explosions. Oh, and then Vin Diesel's like... Now, this movie was about 99.99% in English, and yet I had to put the subtitles on just for Vin Diesel. And every time he talked, I was like, wait, what did he say? He said, "That's just it. I am afraid." And he'd be like, it's family. Letty, no. Hey, kid, jump. Like, I'm convinced that they bring him into the booth. Someone thought this was a great idea. Like, let's get Vin Diesel. And it's sad that Vin Diesel's 2 greatest acting performances are as an Iron Giant and a talking tree. And he comes in and he probably just said, "I am Groot." And they're like, that's fine, dude, we got it. And they just put it through all kinds of processors and auto-tuning, and it's like, we'll just take it from here, Vin. Wait, I could do it better. Wait, let me do it happy. I am Groot. Like, let me do sad. I am Groot. Like, it's just... And then I found myself talking like him. He's like... And it's like, I can't even do it. It's so deep, and it's like vocal fry. It's like, you don't even understand. I do whatever I can for family. Brace yourself. There's a missile coming. Look out! Here it comes. This movie is 2.5 hours long, thereabouts. I think. Was it longer? I don't even know. It was about 2:20 or so. And this was the first one I feel like that was left as a cliffhanger because it's part 1 of 2, right? It's Fast X, and the next one is Fast X Part 2 instead of Fast 11. They can't even do that without making me annoyed. It is like written for 10-year-olds by 10-year-olds. I just felt like a parody. Everything from the drama to the action to the just to the characters, just all of it was written like, think about it. When you're a kid and you have action figures, and you can like make them jump off like your porch onto the ground. Like in reality, you're thinking, oh man, those action figures in real life would have died. That's not something you'd ever see in a movie. Yes, it is. You can take your Matchbox figure, right? Take a Matchbox car and just smash it up against the wall, and then pick it up and it drives fine. That's how this movie acts. Vin Diesel does all kinds of things where he's chasing a flaming ball that's a bomb, and he looks at a crane at one point, and he's like, calculating the physics in his head like he's friggin', a beautiful mind. And he's like, I know what to do. And he drives into a crane so that the crane swings around, and it's still swinging. Swing, 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 and then perfectly hits the bomb to throw it into the water so it doesn't blow up the Vatican. Yes, that is a real sentence. He uses a crane to bump a bomb into a lake or into some sort of water so that it does not blow up the Vatican. Yes, in the first movie, they're stealing DVD players. Now they're saving the Vatican. I know this is almost a trope of even talking about these movies. It's a trope of, oh, look what they used to do and now what they do, but I feel like they got better, and then they get worse. I'm like, there was a point where there was moments where I said, this is a fun action movie. And I think it was 5 and 6. And again, they're bringing in the Rock, that stuff. And they actually brought back they did a flashback to the vault. I remember that being a really cool stunt. And, I've talked earlier this month how sometimes when you see things and they're all digital, like I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if I trust any of this stuff that's happening. It could just be they put Vin Diesel in a green screen, right? And then they put him in a chair and like, all right, shake around, Vince. Whoa, I'm shaking. This is crazy. And then they just paint a car around him. Like he's like, listen, in my contract, I need this size pants. And I don't want to see a goddamn sleeve on any shirt the entire time. In fact, I forgot, but they showed him look up. I laughed out loud multiple times in this movie, and it's not a comedy. They showed a shot of him and Michelle Rodriguez. Now, the other day, I see her, and I'm thinking, I give her a hard time, and I really liked Dungeons & Dragons, and I enjoyed her in that. And then she's in this, and I'm like, okay, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't know. But they show her wedding, and there she is in a dress, and there he is in his white tuxedo with no sleeves. This is my formal sleeveless. Like, it is so... He is not an action star. To me, he's not a star. Like... He's picking up cars with his bare hands. I'm laughing out loud. He does this whole thing where he turns the car on the bridge. His car's on its side. He turns it on. He gets the engine rolling. He's doing like MacGyver shit. And he takes a pole and he pops it onto the gas. And then he's like, right, let me lean over. He lifts the car like he's Lou Ferrigno. The car hits the ground, perfectly spins, and hits into a guy. This guy is like... He's a genius level as far as figuring out the physics of where things are going to go. The car he drives in it's unlike any car ever. Like James Bond is like, that's a bloody nice car. And I don't know why he all of a sudden went from a bad English to bad Australian. But wait, I can do better. He's like, well, it's a great car. No, that's Australian. Right. Bond, James Bond. That's a crazy. Nope, I lost it. Never mind. I'm not going to do it anymore. The car at one point gets like smashed up against the wall. It lands. He drives off. Like the suspension of this car is tremendous. It drives down a goddamn dam. It gets like at one point it hits the water and the doors open. But earlier 2 helicopters put spikes in each door and he drags the helicopters. He's like, you're not taking me. Everything can be saved with just a little bit of nitrous. He's like, oh, where the helicopters, put a little nitrous. Goodbye, helicopters. I'm going to pull you down. Oh my God, there's a bomb. There's an explosion. The whole dam's exploding. We have to outrun it. And no, actually, it doesn't explode yet. But don't worry, little nitrous. We're fine. Oh my God, there's so much dumbness in this movie, and I don't even know if dumbness it isn't even a word. But now I'm dumb. In Billy Madison, it was like we are now all dumber for watching it. Like for the next couple hours, my brain is mush, and I'm like, I hope I can get the podcast up. I forget what any of these things are. Like I see all these things in front of me, Q, W, E. I know those are letters. I don't know what. It's a keyboard of some sort. I don't understand computers. I don't know what I'm looking at here. But slowly but surely it'll come back. It's like I just got hit in the head really hard, and it's like, oh, I'm a little foggy, and everything's going to be fine. But not for now. So I'm not even sure I talked about what this movie's about. Because I don't even, okay, here's what this movie is about. It flashes back to, I want to say Fast 5, I guess? I don't remember. I've seen every single movie. I have, because I've documented it here on the website, fansnotexperts.com. But I don't remember what happens where. I don't remember some of the characters' names. You know, it's always, oh yeah, Tyrese is Roman, and Ludacris is, I want to say, begins with an N or a Y, or he's Ludacris. So I don't know. Then there's the British hacker girl. I don't remember. Last time she was in a car that was driving itself, where it's bad CGI. Vin Diesel was jumping on cars like he's Pac-Man, or like he's not Pac-Man. That's a terrible. He has a head like Pac-Man, but this movie's making me loopy. Like I don't remember her name. I remember Han. I remember Letty. Dom, because they say Dom's name 1,000 times. John Cena's name is Jacob. And then Aquaman. There's so many Aquaman in this movie. Well, there's 2 Aquaman in this movie. If you don't know, Alan Ritchson, who now is best known as he's a goddamn giant, and he's Jack Reacher on Amazon. But before that, he was on a DC show. But years ago, I'm talking like 17 years ago or something like that, he was Arthur Curry. Was that his name? In Smallville. Remember the Smallville TV show, Superman? He was Aquaman in that. Now, then, of course, Jason Momoa is Aquaman in the DC movies now. And it's like, well, look at that. 2 Aquaman fighting against... Oh, no, but they're teamed up. Of course, they're working together. Why? Who the hell knows? Okay, let me see if this makes sense. So Jason Momoa is the son of the man who they robbed in a previous movie. He was always there. You just didn't see him. He was around. And he wants revenge on Dom and their family. So he makes Roman Tyrese, they have a job where he runs it, but it's a fake just to get them all there. And then it brings, I guess he tries to take out, wait a minute. I'm confused. Why doesn't he just lure them all there? Why does he lure some of them there? Like, it's always like, this is all part of the plan, like the whole time. He basically frames them. He doesn't want them to die because death is too easy. So he frames them. He takes their money. He makes them go on the run. And then he starts trying to, kind of kill them, I guess. I don't know. They try to get back to him. They bring back old people. So you get eventually Jason Statham. Helen Mirren's in this again. She's gone from Shazam 2 to this. I mean, she's really killing it, in the films right now. And then a lot of action happens. Dom has to... Oh, now the agency. So I don't remember. I'm sure they would call the agency every time. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. I thought they worked for the government. And is the agency part of the government? I don't know. Oh, Charlize Theron shows up for some reason. She's like, you're going to need to help me. Because Aquaman Jason Momoa takes all her money and people. And she goes to them because every bad guy turns out to be a good guy later. Even though they did the switcheroo twice with Alan Ritchson. So now, and she drove a friggin' DeLorean though. That was my favorite part of this whole movie, was seeing that futurist, like that modern looking DeLorean. And so they got to hide the kid. So basically John Cena's entire time in this movie is running around with the kid. And guess what? It's some of the best parts of this movie. Give me John Cena with this kid having adventures. It's little B. It's Brian, Dom's son, but it's not with Letty. It's with a woman agent who died, who's in Rio, but she has a sister who's there. Dom then goes to Rio, and then we bring Brie Larson in. Now Scott Eastwood is in it for like 5 seconds. He's Mr. Nobody's son, who's Kurt Russell, who's not in this at all. He's presumed missing, or just didn't want to be it, or he was doing something else, or he's doing Guardians 3 or 4. I don't know. Oh, is he the villain in Guardians 2? I don't know. I haven't seen that one in a while. I haven't seen Guardians 3 yet at all. And I won't see it this month, so don't worry about it. It's not coming. You'll probably see it early next year. So, what the hell am I talking about? Oh, now Brie Larson is also a little nobody. She's the daughter, so that's Scott Eastwood's sister. So the whole freaking family works in the agency. Now we're going to see the mother someday, and it's going to be something like Susan Sarandon. I'm just throwing that out there. Watch it be, boom, let's see if I nailed it. So she is like, I trust them. They're good. And now Alan Ritchson runs it. He's like, I don't trust them. They're bad. We're going to go get them. Now, little do you know, he's working with Aquaman the whole time. And she, of course, Captain Marvel, is like, no, I'm going to help them. So she goes, they caught Letty when the bomb in the Vatican didn't go off or something. It did go off, and they saved it. Who gives a shit? They caught Letty. they put her in a prison, and then Brie Larson goes, she's like, hey, they can't hear you because I jammed the signal. Because all you have to say is, I did something in this movie. It's like, I hacked into the mainframe. I jammed the signal. I can break into this. Let me just bang on a freaking computer while I plug into something. Logic. So, this might be my favorite movie to talk about because it's just so annoying. She's like, I'll break you out, okay? But you have to make it look like, I know, this is how we're going to do it. So she makes it look like she's hurting Brie Larson. So she stabs Michelle Rodriguez, who then gets transported to a hospital wing where laser beams are putting her back together. She got a little cut. Don't worry, it's perfectly healed by the power of laser beams. Now, all of a sudden, Charlize Theron is there. How did she get there? I do not know. Let me see if I remember. She showed up at Dom's house. She said, there's craziness happening. And, okay, it's the agency. Wait a minute. Scott Eastwood worked for the agency, so they brought her in to get her medical health, maybe. So Letty wakes up, and there's Charlize right there. Now, it looks like, if you were watching it, that they were going to do like a brain transplant. Put Charlize Theron's head into like a swap, like a vice versa, like father, like son, 18 again type situation. They did not do that. Instead, I don't know why. Oh, no, because her name is, what the hell's her name? Cypher or something like that. So they're locked in these beds, right? Because they're prisoners. And she pulls a little red wire, just a little red wire out of somewhere, and she goes tippity-tap, which allows her to hack somehow. Then she taps this little screen on now this is the bed that they're locked in, but apparently you can hack into the room where all the guards are, go tippity-tap-tap-tap on this thing, without even looking. She can't see it. She's just tapping into it. And all of a sudden, knockout smoke comes in, knocks them out, and then she goes bing, bing, boom, breaks them both out. Now she's like, now you got to help me. Of course, they end up fighting. Get a pretty good fight scene. Michelle Rodriguez tries to leave. She goes up this chimney chute or whatever, and there's snow everywhere. She's like, oh, crap. She's in Antarctica. So she comes down, and her and Charlize, you forget about them for like an hour. Then all of a sudden they're walking on the snow together, and you get one of the big reveals at the end. A big sub just comes out of the ice, just drives out of the ice. And who's driving the sub? Goddamn Gal Gadot. Now that is Giselle, I want to say. I almost said Jasmine. It's Wonder Woman. This is the third Gal Gadot movie that I've seen that isn't a Gal Gadot movie all movie month. She was in Shazam. She was in The Flash. And now she's in, spoiler alert, you don't care at this point. And now nobody cared about The Flash. And now she's in this. And she's like hundreds of yards away, and she puts this little smile on, like, hey guys, it's me. Hi. I'm surprised she didn't give a thumbs up, and then they didn't give a thumbs up back. So, Cypher's like, you still think my plan is bad? So Gal Gadot's working with Cypher now, who just killed Dom's baby mama. Like, what? You just give a little wink, and you're like, okay, you're a good guy now. That was one of the big reveals. So you got John Cena off with the kid. That was fun. I would like to see an adventure with them. Apparently, I've said in the past, John Cena, almost like you can see him acting. And then that was when he was Peacemaker in the Fast and Furious movie, in the Peacemaker movie, when he was in the Suicide Squad movie. But then in the Suicide Squad TV show, I really started liking him more. I mean, I've always liked him, and, okay, I'm a wrestling fan, blah, blah, blah. But in this, I just thought, it helps that he's, one of the main character, Dominic Toretto, has the emotional range of a baked potato. That helps a lot because, Cena can do things with his face and smile and laugh and just be endearing to kids, where Vin Diesel's like, are you dead? And I will protect you forever. So him running around with the kid was great. But, of course, Aquaman drives right up and, like, pulls the kid off a car, pulls him into his car. Then everyone's chase. There's a big chase at the end. And Jacob's like, Dom, it's been an honor. Thank you for showing me the light. And he has this rocket car. It's cars with rockets on it, or cannons. And he basically turns the cannons on himself to flip the car over, to land on 4 cars, blow himself up, kill himself, but there's still a bunch of cars chasing him, so it's like, what did you do? And, like, the car flipped over, and it was supposed to be dramatic, but it was hilarious. Like, you see John Cena's head, you see Vin Diesel go, no! Then, early on in the movie, there's a car racing around, and you find out it's little Brian driving the car. And Dom tells him, like, you got to remember, see a line, feel the car, and then leap, and go for it, or make the leap or something. You're like, oh, that's going to come back later. And it does come back later. He's basically saying, he says the same thing over a walkie-talkie because Jason Momoa has little Brian. I'm going to eat these grapes in my mouth. Hold on. Oh, my God, I just dropped that one. Oh, I got to get it before my dog finds it. So, I'm getting dehydrated talking about this shitty movie, and I have to eat grapes. Hold on. Okay. So, oh my God, these grapes are good. So, Dom says over the walkie-talkie these lines, and the kid's like, you're right, Dad. The cars are sliding next to each other. There's a good 15 feet between the 2 cars. The kid opens the door, and his dad goes, now! Like, what? And the kid goes, jumps out of one car, flies through the air. Like, literally, it's not jump up and fall down into the car. He flies through the air, perfectly lands in the seat, and he's like, yes, good job, son. I laughed again out loud at that. And I haven't talked about Jason Momoa yet. He was at least doing something where Dominic Toretto, has the personality of, a toenail clipping. Momoa has boundless energy and personality. Maybe too much sometimes. Like, this director could have been like, Jason, please, let's bring it down to like an 8, shall we? And he's like, this is an 8. Let's bring that down to a 5 then. He was having fun. He was, at some point, I was enjoying it. At some point, I was like, calm down, Jay. Little much. It's a little over the top. Painting toenails of dead bodies, but okay. I guess you made a choice and you went with it. Sometimes more successful than others, but at least he was trying something. And it's like, am I rooting for the bad guy over Dominic Toretto? Like, he was more interesting. Friggin' John Cena with the kid was more interesting. It's just Vin Diesel is a shitty actor. He has to be. Like, and I don't like to use these words. I don't mind it, but I don't want to use it a lot on the podcast, but there's just not a better word for it.
I'm a really good actor. You gotta understand this. It's all about flavor.
What's that? Vin, could you try another one?
It's all about family.
That's good. We nailed it. Let's just edit it in post. It's like they got, they got like a half frogman to do it in post. I'm gonna do it. Okay, I got a deep voice like this and make it more like they did everything ADR. Oh my God! So, we get to see Mia, and then when they said Mia, I was like, who the hell's Mia? Oh, Jordana Brewster, his sister, and I forgot that means that John Cena is her brother, and they're like, thanks sister, thanks brother. Oh yeah. Later on, we meet a woman who's the sister of the late baby mama of BBB, and like, she has to remind everyone that her sister's the mother, not Letty. So she goes, "Go get your son, my nephew." That's a bad accent, but it's probably like insensitive. I don't know. I don't care. I have no feelings anymore. He's like, "I will. I'm going to go right now. Thank you. Good luck. Bring. Who do they have to bring? Oh, Brie Larson." At one point, Brie Larson is behind Aquaman, and I'm thinking, "Oh, she turned too." I'm not sure what's going on here, but no, she didn't turn. It was the other Aquaman. He turned. Oh my God. We got, who do we get popping up? Jason Statham popped up. Now, part of it was like a re-shot of, we saw the scene in End of 9. He's there. He's like, I'm going to fight you. I hate you. Oh, wait a minute. You're working together? Okay, we're going to take the agency down. All right. They targeted me mum. Not me mum. all right, I'll meet you at the rendezvous point. If I hear rendezvous point one more time, I don't even think he said it, but he gives them all the guns, all the money. Pete Davidson is in it for 5 seconds. He's like, I'm really funny. I'm Pete Davidson. I'm gonna say things that are funny. Kinda, right? Whoa, don't break. He works in an Indian internet cafe with like dial-up modems. But that's a perfect cover. Now let me ask you, why are the other people there? Why would they use it? Do they work for Pete Davidson? Why are they using dial-up modems? I don't know. But those are things that might make sense. There's weird timing in this. It's almost like you watch something, then a joke happens, then you watch people for like 3 more seconds, and then they cut away. The editor was probably like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make something out of this. I said Statham. Pete Davidson shows up. I'm sure there were other. And it's funny, I got spoiled the other day about the Gal Gadot before I saw it, and then I forgot all about it, and then she popped out of a friggin' submarine. I said, I should have known. It's always someone you think is dead. Now, the end of the movie. So the movie goes on, and it has this big climax. Some of the things I'm like, it's a cool location on this dam, but I should have thought, because he goes, they corner him. First a plane comes in. He's like, we're coming for you, Dom. He's like, no, Roman, it's a trap. And then you see a missile come in and shoot their plane down. You never see a crash. And you saw they were running from the missile. They're in the plane. They're running from the missile that's coming to the plane. They're running to probably get into one of the cars, drop out, and land. Obviously, that's what happened. None of them died. Don't worry. That doesn't happen in this movie. And if you do die, you will be back. I saw John Cena's car explode with him upside down in the car. He'll be back. I will be shocked if he's not back. Completely. So, what was I talking about? The climax. So they're on the dam, and the thing gets shot down. You realize it's Alan Ritchson, TV's Aquaman. And he's like, sorry, man, I've been there first. And then they show all these scenes throughout the movie where he was actually there. And one of them, I thought he was in the shot anyway. I was like, why are they showing this guy, this giant guy from his back? I think that's him. And then I forgot. So I was like, okay, I guess that was successful. So he's a bad guy the whole time. But he runs the agency, so I don't know what that means. So he's like, You might have taken my family, and you might have taken my hope, but you forgot one thing. And Momoa's like, what? What did I forget? You didn't take my car. And then he drives off the dam, flies off the dam. Now the car would have flipped over and causing obviously irreparable, mortal danger to him and his son. But instead, it like if anyone told me your car is equipped with the most technologically advanced system with awesome suspension and cool bulletproof armor and all this shit, right? If anyone came like a Q came and did that, then I would have been like, okay, at least they explained it. Now I was fully expecting for him to go, you didn't take my car. Then he drives out the bridge and wings pop out of it and it flies away. I was expecting that, and I have to admit, I was disappointed that it just flew down and drove down the friggin' and outran explosions and fires, but drove down the bridge. I was like, man, it would have been so cool if it flew away. And I knew they had this whole thing where John Cena was driving an old Mustang 5.0. He's like, you don't understand. In the 90s, a 5.0, it was the big deal. And guess what? John Cena was right about that, because I knew kids that had 5.0s, those old Mustangs. They weren't cool looking, really, Mustangs when you think about it, but they were Mustangs. They were 5.0, and they could drive. But he had a thing that was a kayak. I was like, there's got to be something with the kayak. Either it's guns, or later they're going to kayak. No, it was actually a small plane that they dropped out of an airplane with them together, which I was like, okay, I think I'm in with these kids. Let Cena bring little B everywhere. What else was I there to talk about? Oh, there's another thing. There's a fatal flaw in these movies. They're in mortal danger constantly. Everybody comes back, but the one guy who never comes back, never cares, never, is always just in hiding. Like, he's so out that his whole freaking family could be in mortal danger, but he doesn't care. And that's Brian. And we all know why. God rest his soul. Paul Walker, is no longer with us. But I almost think they did a disservice to themselves and to the Brian character, like his legacy. I feel like at some point they could have been like, we lost him. You know, they got to him. Something where it would be emotionally charged, you know, because obviously you like in real life, it seemed like him and Vin were close, like they became like a brotherhood. And I could see this family of this, the people making the movie are more of a family. I understand that. They show Paul Walker in this movie in flashbacks and stuff, but it's like, I almost feel like it cheapens it a little bit. You know, it's like, he's still out there somewhere, or he's out there, he went next door, or he'll be here any second. Or like, remember, was it the last one or the one before that he pulls up at the end? The car pulls up, Brian's here. Like, I almost feel like it would be more of a way of honoring him to let the character go and make it meaningful instead of just, he's just not around. I know it's just a movie and who gives a crap compared to real life. It's just, that thought crossed my mind, so I thought I would share it. So, as I said, this movie ends on a cliffhanger of the dam. So they drive down the dam. Then Momoa's like, well, okay. So he blows up the dam. The dam's about to blow up. And I was ready. I'm ready. I'm like, oh my God, here it comes. Vin Diesel is going to outrun a blown up dam. He's going to figure it out. He's going to friggin' be Moses. He's going to part the sea. He's going to do something. Here's what's probably going to happen. He's going to run, and there's going to be a sword just in the middle somewhere. He's going to undo the sword and dive in with his son, and then Kurt Russell will be down there. You know, something like that, some stupid thing, or they'll be running and you'll see the car driving. That's when we'll see Roman and I want to say Tesh, but I don't think that's John Tesh. I don't think I have that right, but it might be close. Hey Google, what is the name of Ludacris's character on the Fast and Furious movies?
The characters in Fast and Furious include Tej Parker.
Tej! I was close. Okay, so I said Tesh. I was very good. Thank you. Okay. Tej and Tej Parker. Well, it's Tej. Okay. So we're going to see Tej. We're going to see Roman, and we're going to see the British woman, who I can't remember her name. They're going to be driving in. Come on, quick, jump on. That's how it's going to happen, obviously. But that ends there. We don't know. So, quote unquote, they're blown up. Vin and Little Vin have to outrun the flood, and Letty and Cypher, Michelle and Charlize are getting picked up by Wonder Woman, Giselle. Oh, and Han too. I keep forgetting Han's with them as well. And we don't know where Statham is. Statham's in one scene, never to be seen again. So that's all going to pick up in the second one. Let me ask you, hey Google, when is Fast X Part 2 coming out?
On the website en.is.com, they say, Vin Diesel has announced when we will be able to enjoy the second part of Fast X, the 11th installment of the saga. It will be on April 4th, 2025.
Oh, looks like Movie Month 2025 is going to be bringing back the Fast one more time. Vroom, vroom. Now, that is supposed to be the end. But then I don't know, because we had that spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw. It was Fast and Furious presented. They presented it. Not Hobbs and Shaw, a Fast and Furious adventure, which I think would have been better. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. What? And that was the big reveal. So we get this theater, and all these guys are moving in. They're all covered. Their faces are covered, and they're military looking. And you see a phone call, and it's like, Dom may have done the deal, but you pulled the trigger, so I'm coming for you too. And it's Jason Momoa, and then the guy's holding it, the phone in his hand, takes off his mask. I was like, it better be him. And boom, it's Hobbs. Boom, it's The Rock. He's back. So unless it's for a spinoff, I don't think so. The Rock better be in part 11. Vin, put your ego away. You are the crappiest. I'm going to hold it. You are the crappiest part of this movie. Bring in these guys who actually have, yes, I'm saying the two professional wrestlers have better emotion and better acting chops than you. And Momoa is just going to go wacky in part 2, I assume, as well. So it wasn't all finished. It leads to this fifth one. Yeah, I mean, this 11th one that's going to be in 2025. There's the 5. And yes, I will roll my eyes. I will say this is stupid. I will say this doesn't make any sense. This is illogical. This is physically impossible. And yet I will watch it. And I will be here complaining 2 years from now, going, what am I doing? Why did I do this? But is it worth it? I don't know. I don't know. Is any of this worth it? Was any of these movies worth it? Maybe, because there is a tinge of fun mixed in there. There are stunts that are going there, and I go, oh, that's kind of cool. And a lot of the time, it was not with Vin, though. I would say 90% of the time, the stuff with Vin, I was just like, okay. Like, okay, there's one point. He gets picked up by, okay, I'm going to throw this out there. He gets picked up by Alan Ritchson, right? Alan Ritchson, he's like, it was so easy to pick you up, man. What are you doing? And he goes, we don't even have to cuff you. Like this was ridiculous. You made it too easy. And so Vin Diesel sits down, and you realize, oh God, Momoa called the authorities. Well, then you realize they're working together later. But again, this doesn't make any sense. So they're in the truck, and Vin Diesel's like, you guys better hold on. And I was like, what is Vin Diesel talking about? And then he starts putting seatbelts on, and they're like, what are you talking about? We don't, like, what are you doing? He's like, what are you waiting for? He goes, I'm ready for what's coming. And then 5 seconds later, a missile comes in and hits him. Now, if you hear that, it sounds like to me that Vin Diesel knows this is happening, okay? Because his people are coming to free him. Yet, that's not it at all. It's Jason Momoa's people there to blow him up and try to take him out. So how did Vin know it was coming that quickly? Like, oh, I bet something, like this movie has a lot of, I bet something's going to happen, and now it happens. So Momoa comes in to blow all these people up, to blow them up and try to take Vin Diesel. At one point, people are shooting like crazy, and Vin just walks out, sleeveless, gunless, and walks along for a while until he finally moves. I was like, is he going to walk the entire time through all the bullets and not get shot? But here's the thing that doesn't make sense. Jason Momoa blew up that ship, blew up that convoy, knowing that Alan Ritchson is on that convoy, yet they're working together. I feel like, again, this movie was written by stupidity, directed by stupidity, and I watched it with stupidity. I'm hitting myself in the head. That doesn't make any sense. They work together, but he tries to blow him up, and Alan Ritchson should have been like, man, you shot, like, they shot him in the chest, in the bulletproof vest, but they still shot him, and he should have been like, oh, man, you guys shot me hard. You know, good thing you hit the vest. Hey, I knew I would have got you. None of that. It's just like, I work for that Aquaman now. Bum, bum, bum. Dumb. And I realize if you added some drier jokes and some, like, you know, looks to the camera, things like that, this could have been a parody in any, like, way, shape, or form. Just the action was so goofy. Some of it looked good. Some of it looked very digital. And none of it made me go, amazing. It just made me go, what? Oh, that was, what? Oh, my God, that was stupid. Ha, 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 ha.
And yet I'll be back. I'll be back to watch the next one. I can't wait. Here's the next one. Hi, guys. We're going to see action like never before throughout the entire picture. I love that he calls them his films pictures. They're really good. I gotta go. This is about family.
Yep. I think I'm done here. I have been rambling on far too long than this movie deserves, but it's a long movie, and there's a lot of things to laugh at. So, Fast X. You know, I feel like it sounds like the thing you use to take a crap. Oh, I'm really constipated. Why don't you try Fast X, okay? It's filled with so much crap that you can't help but just, go. I couldn't think of the clean way to say it, and I can't think of words lose meaning, not me understand things. I gotta go. This movie made me dumb, and I'm still not back to my base level of I want to say intelligence. Oh, I thought of the word intelligence. It's coming back. Okay. Whew. Now, I'm done here, okay? Guess what that means? That means there's only 3 movies left. And I know what they are. And I know what order they're in. So I know what's coming tomorrow. But you don't. You'll find out tomorrow. Unless, of course, you're listening to this tomorrow. Then you'll find out today Unless, of course, I don't get to it late and you don't see the next day. But you'll find out. Just stick around and you'll find out, okay? You'll find out by staying on the podcast here, or if you follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Mastodon.social, or Mastodon.social, because no one goes there, at Geek Mentality, all one word. See, that was a beautiful transition. The Facebook page is fans.experts. That's because the website is fansnotexperts.com. It is now 10:30, but I already have my picture done. I already have everything ready. I'm just going to plop this in, upload it, and get it to you, the masses. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the Tuesday, even though there's only 90 minutes left. I'll see you tomorrow, my friends. But until then, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.